in Hulk mode, or like Kong, right? Just destroying everything in that woman, bro. That little touch. Chill out, bro.
Yeah. And then when the wrong woman's there, then there's a different touch that goes across.
Oh yeah, they're trying to get that fire out, and it's destructive.
Yeah. Wow, man. But yeah, I can see that. Like, you just blow the woman off because, like they say, living well is the best revenge. And then they come back and then you're like, I don't even want you.
Bro,
like, you don't fit my life anymore.
Bro, time passes. Time passes. Just like everyone that was cool in high school. Time passes. You know what I'm saying? And you see like what it was and what it is.
Yeah.
And the very reasons why they probably didn't like you was probably the reason why they should have been with you. You see, because they're stuck in a certain type of mentality, a certain childish mentality at that time.
Popularity contest.
That's all it is. And sadly, a lot of people don't evolve from that popularity contest.
Right.
That's all life is for them, is a popularity contest.
Right.
That's sad.
Well, they also they're unwilling to sacrifice their youth. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to But I hate to bring up the topic myself.
No,
but this, bro, they don't want to put in the hard work to be successful later. They want it all now, so they're not willing to put in the sacrifice, delay gratification to reap what they sow. They want to reap the fruit when the plant's only an inch big.
Yeah, and you got to live life. That's the reality. At that age, you don't know anything. You think you do. You think you have this false sense of independence. But you still have a lot of things around you protecting you. You got the school system. You got all kinds of stuff that's keeping you, in a certain way of doing things, a certain pattern. Once you become an adult, you've got to be disciplined. And you've got to, then it's through these just life and L's and the resilience that you come into real power. A real understanding of what life is all about. It's not about a popularity contest. All these people out here trying to live this life and be popular still, they're hiding a whole lot of stuff, man.
A whole lot of skeletons in their closet, man.
A whole lot, bro.
But just going back to the suffering part in life, everything that people look at as suffering, but it's the sacrifices of the flesh that you have to get rid, you're making to reach that end goal in your life, what you're trying to obtain. But people I don't want to suffer, so I'm not going to make this sacrifice. I'm just going to go out and do what makes me happy, instant gratification. But suffering comes with is a sacrifice to get your ultimate blessing in the end. But people hate wasting, they feel like they're wasting time, but they end up just wasting more time thinking they're wasting time. So it's all backwards.
I feel like that's exactly what sacrifice is, bro, because it's doing the thing that you wish you didn't have to do. That's the thing about purpose. There's an aspect of your purpose that in the flesh you absolutely hate. It's not all this fluffy thing, bro. No, you're walking with the vision. You're walking with a purpose. There's a part of that thing that you're called to do that you hate to do, and it's you overcoming that enables you to be strong enough to do that thing. That's what the sacrifice is. It's me telling myself, you have to get up, because if you don't get up, no one's going to come and do it for you.
No one's coming to save you.
No one's coming to save
you. It's your life. You're the one that has ultimately control over your life. And Tim Grover talked about it, about people saying love the process. So no, you're never going to love 100% of the process. But when you actually want to accomplish something, you just know work has to be done, and you get it done anyways. Even when you
see that it's necessary. It's necessary, and when you go through it, it should produce results. A lot of people are just sacrificing things, but you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, so you may be sacrificing the wrong thing.
Yeah, it has to make sense. You got to have that goal in mind. And the sacrifice is cutting off the things, the pleasurable things that are keeping you from getting to that place. Because a lot of it is that, pacifying ourselves. or celebrating before the game is over. You know how many times you seen that in a game, bro? People celebrating, think it's over, and then you give the ball back to Tom Brady.
A lot of people in the stands crying after that. That's why I never got the pre-gaming. People are celebrating, and then they can't even. They go into the game and they're already so blacked out. They don't even know what's happening in the game. They don't even know if they win or lost. So what are you celebrating?
They just want to have fun.
To celebrate.
Just leisurely people wanting to have fun. But listen, man, there really is a game to be played, man. And you're gonna to win this game, you're gonna have to sacrifice of yourself to get to that place of victory or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You have to sacrifice something, and we're not talking about what some of these people do, trying to step on other people to get ahead. That's not sacrifice. That's a shortcut.
Yeah.
Okay, to a real sacrifice is not a shortcut. It's making the decision to go the long way and enduring the road to get there.
Yeah, people don't, like you said, they're just stepping over people. But that has nothing to do with you. So how is that going to be a sacrifice to you? It's not doing anything. Sacrifice means you have to suffer. So you have to give up something that you enjoy. Not what everyone else is enjoying. But so it's going to be majority of sleep. People love sleep. Food, you're going to have to give that up. Sometimes it's people. People love to be liked. So, oh no, man, I've known this person for 20 years. I can't get rid of them. But they're doing nothing for you. They're draining you. They're not adding to you. There's no benefit in there. So sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice those relationships with individuals. And I think that's where people just try to find shortcuts because they don't want to lose. They're holding on to stuff that shouldn't be there anymore, which is hindering their progress in life. And once they realize it, you got a lot of wasted time that you have to make up. And like we always say, time's not promised, so you don't even know. So you got to make decisions quick nowadays.
So I like what you said right there about sleep and about time. People, that's what I think that's what it is. Sleep has a lot to do with this, with being successful. You got to have an outline to your day. You got to know when it's time to go. You got to know when it's time to stop. And a lot of people, they're just willy-nilly. You wake up whenever you want to wake up and you go to sleep whenever you want to go to sleep. You're sleep deprived, and it's because it's your fault. Because you don't have the discipline that you're going to get up when your alarm clock sounds, and then you're going to go to sleep when it's time to go. And the reason I'm saying that that's important, what you said, is because it's between that period that you have to give everything. Because that's why I look at waking up and going to sleep. I look at every time you go to sleep, you're practicing the ritual of death. And every day that you're given, you're reborn. And so it's like to really appreciate life is to make the most of it and to cut out all the fluff. That's what sacrifice is, cutting out the fluff, cutting out excuses, cutting out the things that are keeping you from moving forward. And like you said, it's not about just getting rid of people. That's not what I'm saying. You don't want to just throw away people because they're not excelling. But at a certain point, it's like, I want to help you. But if me helping you is you pulling me back or keeping me from moving forward, there's a decision that's got to be made here. I got to end this relationship. Or, there's always an or. There's a flip side. You can come and do what I'm doing. Yeah. You can come and meet me over at the church. That's what I'll tell everybody, man. Hey, you want to meet me? Come to the church.
Yeah, man. And I guess like the sleep patterns things. I was listening to another podcast, and it was bodybuilders, and they were talking about the 4 a.m. club because one of them started saying like, "Yeah, I'm part of the 4 a.m. club now," and so one of the guys was all like, "Oh, what's the difference? Like, all you're doing is going to sleep earlier." But it's the process of getting up at 4 a.m., doing stuff while everyone's still sleeping is what's making you mentally better because you're accomplishing things while the rest of the world's still asleep. Yes, you're going to sleep earlier, but you're accomplishing more when everyone is asleep. No one can bother you. It's just you and yourself doing whatever you have to outline, emails, anything, writing down your vision, being grateful, praying, everything. There's no interference at that time because everyone's sleeping.
Hmm. Oh, that's true. You gotta always keep that advantage. You gotta find an advantage. You gotta always have that competitive advantage, man. You gotta be up when everyone's asleep. That we talk about to the gym, right? When you get to the gym, the sacrifices, right? You may be the best at your craft, but you gotta keep putting that work if you want to keep elevating. So you gotta have that mentality. What? First one in the gym,
Last one out.
last one out.
Not last one in, first one out.
No, I've seen it. We all know that dude. Last one there. He shows up late, and before it's time to go, he's in the car, ready to go. You see what I'm saying? You gotta have real sacrifices, and this is the thing that people gotta understand about sacrifices. Sacrifices suck.
Yeah.
It sucks to sacrifice. It doesn't feel good. That's why it's called a sacrifice. And we gotta stop trying to just do. We just want to do everything we want to do. You got no resistance in your life, and you wonder why you have no strength, because you can't sacrifice anything. You don't got no strength of character within you.
Yeah, it's true, man. The people are afraid to sacrifice, so that's when they're weak in other areas of life. When stuff,
Every area.
pretty much every area.
Every area. If you're a person who doesn't sacrifice, you're weak in every area of your life because it translates.
Yeah, I would say that's true, because you can't even sacrifice to make yourself better. Then you wonder why your relationships don't work. You can't sacrifice to help someone else out. You wonder why friendships don't work. Can't sacrifice for anything. Then you're wondering why your family don't want to speak with you.
Right.
Because it's all about you. You're so selfish instead of being that selfless person where it's like, yes, I have to sacrifice my time to get myself better so I can help someone else out and help them get better.
Yeah. A person who's running from sacrifice is the same person who's running from every challenge.
Yeah.
It's like you're gifted, you're skilled, you can drive the ball, but you just don't want to play. See what
it's like Ben Simmons. He gets the ball. He's right there for an easy layup. He passes it because he's afraid to take the shot.
Exactly. And you see his record.
Yeah.
When it comes to winning, what has he won?
Nothing.
And with that mindset, he won't continue to win. Now, there's people out here, they don't want to sacrifice, but they want to offer up a cheap substitute to try to get ahead. People will compromise themselves just to get ahead. And that's the thing. They'll show you what they have. They'll post it on social media for people to see. But you don't know what that person is really going through. You don't know what they're really dealing with. You don't know how they're barely just holding things together. So we got to get away from this fairy tale idea of what success is, and you got to embrace the struggle, man.
I agree. The struggle, though, like in the suffering that everyone thinks is so horrible, man, in the end, it's a great blessing because it introduces you to who you are. It shows you what you're capable of. It shows you, like, I had this happen to me when I gave up this, and I still pushed through. What do you mean I can work off of, like, 3 hours of sleep? Because I chose to only get 3 hours of sleep so I can put more work in.
Exactly.
It shows you that how you can break the limits of what you think is possible. It shows you that your mind is truly limitless. Like, there's nothing. Nothing can really stop you if you really put your mind into everything. And people just, like you said, they just want easy, quick fixes. They just want self-pleasure, nothing else. It's like, this doesn't work for me. I'll just go do this other thing. And they're just lost in this world and never accomplishing anything. Yeah, they may be good at very things, but what's that old saying? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they are. It's like, you're good. You know how to do stuff, but I got to call someone else to come fix it after you leave.
Yeah. So dealing with, just sacrifices. The thing that people want is they just want an easy life. They think it's an easy road to this victory. You know what I'm saying? So people, they're hiding things. They're hiding what's really going on with them. And then they're smiling in your face like everything's okay. And it's not. When you sacrifice, you acknowledge outright it's not okay. I'm not okay.
I need some help.
Yeah, but I gotta press through this.
Yeah.
I gotta press through this because of what I'm trying to accomplish. The goal has to be better. The goal is always greater than the suffering, and the reward will always be better than the suffering.
If you actually do this.
If you actually endure it. That's the thing. So what is it that you're willing? What are you suffering for? And some people, the things that they're enduring for, it has no substance. You got to find a real reason to endure and to sacrifice. And then you can't just be getting caught up and just chasing after this thing that you sacrifice meaningful relationships because you're chasing after these great things. You know, we talk about someone like Michael Jordan, bro. Dude's awesome on the court. His shoes are awesome. But you start pulling back some of these layers, bro. I know some stuff I'm sure he wishes he had back.
I'm pretty sure countless time away from his kids, and his marriage kind of failed because of it too, you know? You lose some of that. But people don't see that. Just look at Tom Brady. He got divorced because he just wanted to keep chasing football. He lost his wife. Like
For what? For a terrible season.
For a terrible season and retired the next year. Like, was that sacrifice worth it? Was that sacrifice of losing that person worth it?
Exactly.
So you have to, like you said, you have to have your vision clear, and you have to know the steps to get to where you want to go. End goal. What your end goal is, and then slowly see if this thing fits your narrative. If not, you gotta just cut it off, sacrifice it. You're gonna have to, you know what I mean? Basically, it's just like boom.
So, like, I think the thing I see with a lot of younger folks, you know, talking about sacrifice, is they look at their life, and I've done this too, and they want to sacrifice something that has no bearing on their success whatsoever, you know, like the thing, kind of almost what you just said. You know how you were just saying, like, you know, if something doesn't do anything for you, cut it out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, they'll look at the thing that is like helping them almost, or like they'll be like, oh dude, like, I don't know, I'm drinking, you know, I'm gonna sacrifice that. It's like, I mean, I guess, is that really should you even be doing that? Like, you know, like, they'll be like getting like blackout drunk, and then they'll
sacrifice
be like,
stuff you shouldn't even be doing.
Exactly. And it's like, I don't think that's a sacrifice, bro. Like, because I used to do the same thing. Like, when I quit smoking, so I used to smoke cigarettes. I smoked since I was like 15 years old. And then I smoked for like 9-10 years almost. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this sacrifice. And my fiance was like, bro, you should have quit doing that anyways. Like, you're gonna die if you keep doing that. Like, it's not a sacrifice if it's self-destructive, dude. Like, you just gotta get rid of it anyway, because it's not you. Like what you said, David. You're not even supposed to be doing it in the first place.
Yeah, it's true. It's just like me. If I would be like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice fruits and vegetables, I don't eat them anyway, so it's nothing to me. Exactly. It has no meaning in my life at all. Like, that's how people are. Like, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice buying a candy bar at the store. Yeah. Like, what kind of sacrifice is that?
I think with sacrifice, you got to prioritize. And the things that are at the bottom of the priority list, those are the things that got to get taken off. Right?
Yeah.
Because you have to emphasize the main thing, the main goal. You got to have a main goal. You got to have an end goal of where you're trying to get. And then when you start prioritizing, some things that you'll say, like, wait, cigarette, that's still here? That's easy. Get rid of that easy. But then you start going to certain things. It's like, okay, I actually like this. Like, I like watching the Super Bowl, or I like watching these sporting events, or but I got something else I got to do that's in line with what I'm trying to go. But no, I think I'm gonna chill on what I want to do, so I can go have some fun and watch this game that's not really gonna affect my life in any way, really, mostly in a negative way.
Probably gonna lead you back to the cigarettes and alcohol.
Exactly. If you don't catch that W,
Yeah, that's true, man. Like and it's not like people think, oh, sacrifice and suffering. Oh, I can't have any fun in my life. No, there's still going to be a lot of fun times because you're going to meet like-minded individuals where conversations are fun now. Reading's fun. Working out's fun.
right?
Journaling's fun. Like, those are going to become fun things for you. And they're actually bettering your life instead of, I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl, drink about a 12-pack by myself, smoke a pack of cigarettes, and
Eat all I can eat.
probably eat a large pizza and a couple hamburgers, you know? It's like, that's that. That's instant regret the next day and the night.
And people are ready for that. People are getting ready for that. Tomorrow, I don't know whenever we're airing this, but tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday. But no, listen, sacrifice. When we're talking about sacrifice, you got to give of yourself. You know what I mean? And you can't be out here just sacrificing people either,
Yeah.
just to get ahead.
Like you see, like you're waiting for someone to slip up at work because you know they're about to get the promotion. So like, you know what? I'm gonna say Bob's having an affair. I know he is, and he's sleeping with the boss.
To me, that shouldn't even be considered an actual sacrifice
No, it's a cheap.
because it has nothing to do with you.
Like you just
If you want to sacrifice something, go sacrifice yourself.
sacrifice your time.
That's what Christ did.
Yeah.
Christ sacrificed himself. He was a living sacrifice, bro. He presented his body as a living. We're supposed to present our bodies a living sacrifice every day.
And like you said, man, he sacrificed himself, never folded, realest dude on the world that's ever lived, you know?
Realist, bro.
Realist, like, no, could not compromise him at all. He knew he was going to get set up and still went through it. He knew he was going to die. He knew the person that was going to betray him and still went through with the ultimate sacrifice, bro.
There's it's just a cheap way to get power.
Yeah.
It's the shortcut to power. You know what I'm saying? People that out here don't want to sacrifice. Jesus did that's the real way. That's the real way to power, is getting rid of the things that are holding you back. Like one thing I think about with Christ, and it was a voluntary thing. He voluntarily laid his life down. Meaning that that he knew that he was going to be betrayed. He knew how he was going to die, the way he was going to die, and he didn't resist it, bro. He cooperated.
He welcomed it.
He welcomed it all the way to them nailing him to the cross, bro. He just took it. That's a hard thing. We wouldn't do that. Many of us wouldn't do that. Someone says something about you, against you, bro, and you're already getting ready to lose it. They said something that hurts your feelings. They talked about you behind your back, and that meant everything to you. It's like, look, man, I expect it from certain people. And even people that I don't expect it from, I could deal with that. That's nothing. But you look at him, bro, his best friend betrayed him. One of his best friends betrayed him. He was friends with him on that level. For what? A quick buck. And it wasn't even a quick buck, bro. I don't believe Judas betrayed Christ because of money. Because the money they gave him wasn't really no money. Not to a person that was business savvy. Look at Judas. He handled the money. Well, you think Christ would give the finances to someone who didn't know how to handle money?
No. That would be like giving a fat kid a pizza and telling him not to eat it.
Exactly. He was qualified for that job. He knew money. So what I think what happened was he knew the heat that was coming on Jesus.
And he didn't want, and the heat he would catch once it all happened.
Exactly. You're going to go down with him. Once we're done with him, we're coming for you.
And he folded.
That's what I think.
I agree with that. He folded. He couldn't handle the pressure that would come afterwards because he knows that he's next.
So what did he do? He sacrificed Christ. He said, "Okay, take him. Give me the easy way." And that's the way people are doing, man. You sacrifice the wrong ones.
Yeah.
You're getting rid of all the ones that are giving you good advice and telling you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that.
They don't want to have fun. They don't know how to have fun.
And you're running with who you running with?
Running with a guy that's still living on high school glory.
Still running after that same thing.
Still looking at the person that I remember him when he was a senior. He was cool. but he's not that cool anymore.
You're still holding on to that clout. That's gone. That's gone, man. This is all fleeting. All this stuff is fleeting. So you say, I'm sacrificing. What are you really sacrificing? You're giving up something that's already dying, bro. It's already dying. I'm cutting. So when I talk about sacrifice, if the flesh is already supposed to be dead, I'm cutting off dead weight. If that's all my flesh is death, when I sacrifice, I'm cutting off dead weight, man.
It's a good way to look at it. Never looked at it that way. Makes a lot of sense, though. Ultimately, you want to be the best spiritual man once you leave this place. You know, once your flesh dies, you need your soul intact. You need your spirit intact. If you want to live that eternal life in heaven with your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, so might as well just cut off that dead flesh, whatever making you a horrible person that you think's cool. Just get rid of it. Live a fulfilling life of being selfless, having a bunch of servitude in your life, being humbled, and just moving forward and just reaching your purpose that God's given you in your life.
Exactly. And this type of sacrifice we're talking about is worth it.
Yeah. It's the one sacrifice that's actually worth it.
This is the sacrifice that's worth it. Sacrificing your will for the will of God. That's worth it. It's not always enjoyable. God's word is strong. Christ is strong. And not a lot of people can hold that type of word. So you have to lay off the flesh. If you want to really come into a deep knowledge of who Christ is, if you want him to reveal himself to you and to come alive in your life, because he will show himself in your life. The things that start happening to you and producing you, man, that's all being produced by his power working within you. His wisdom working within you. His favor that's on your life. He's the one opening the door for you. He's the one that put the gift in you. All you got to do is get rid of the things that's keeping that gift from coming forth. Because that's what it is. There's people out here, they're thieves and robbers and murderers. Naturally, maybe so, but I'm talking about vision. I'm talking about purpose. That's what they're going to do. They're going to steal, kill, and destroy your vision if you let them. Those are the ones that you got to cut off.
Yeah, that's where you like we've always talked about. You gotta analyze your circle. Who are you trusting with your real deepest thoughts? Because you may be telling someone everything, and that buddy's ready to just sacrifice your vision. He's going to find some way to get you off track because you're thinking you trust him. Oh, yeah. You're like, I can trust this dude with my life. He'll lay down his life for me. I'll lay my life down for him. Turns out Buddy's just going to lay down your life. You know what I mean? He's going to sacrifice your vision for his vision.
Oh,
He's just going to steal all your ideas, steal all your time, steal all your focus, steal all your energy that you're putting into everything. And you're just going to be helping him, and there's nothing going to be in return. Something you got to cut off. But people always talk about, I'm so loyal. Be loyal to the right people, though at the same time.
Yeah.
Loyalty has its limits.
It's all
when
about
it's just one-sided.
It's all about character, right? Understanding the character of the people around you, their intentions. You can't, because look, I'm not saying get rid of people just because, they make questionable decisions. I know a lot of good people that make questionable decisions. That doesn't mean kill them and get rid of them. No, you got to strengthen those type of individuals. There's some that just don't want to hear it, or they're only around you when it's time to celebrate. They're only around you when it's time to turn up, but when it's time to put in the work, when it's time to endure, when it's time to stand on the front lines and do something, you can't find them. Those are the individuals that I'm saying you gotta just start watching them.
Yeah. Like you said, apply that pressure. Pressure's gonna show their true
Oh, yeah.
character. It's gonna
That's-
break down the true character, man.
Exactly.
So you gotta apply pressure, just like you're leveling up. You gotta apply that same pressure to that individual. See if he folds, or if he stays 10 toes down. You know,
That's
Yeah.
the only way.
yeah,
That's the only way I know how to identify a snake in the circle. Turn the heat up.
yeah.
Turn the heat up, dude. Let's start doing the real thing, and see where you're at.
Yeah, that's true, man. I agree. Like that's 100% true. When people are afraid to do that to their friends, which is weird. Like, why are you gonna be afraid?
Listen,
Like,
if I'm afraid to tell you that, then I'm really not your friend.
yeah, but it goes back to just wanting a popularity contest. Oh, I have so many friends. That's all people want is how many followers I got, how many likes I get. But I don't know, man. You gotta weed that stuff out. That's childish, man. That's childish stuff. Because either way, if you're being real ones are gonna be attracted to you. So you're still gonna get those same likes and those same followers. It's just not gonna be from fake people anymore. You may still have a couple fake people, but majority of your people around you are gonna be real. But people like the yes men, they don't want the guy that's gonna break it down and say, "Nah, you're messing up, bro. You need to fix this now, or you need to do this. I don't like you. The way you're doing this is not there." This one like, "Huh, man, no, you doing everything right. Yeah, you're the big dog. Yeah, you're number one. You're alpha." And then they're just
Yeah, the ones that don't want to sacrifice, it's evident in their everyday mentality and their conversation. Like you can look and talk to a person and tell right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Over just a few sentences, you can start telling what a person is really about based on what we're talking about. What are we talking about? What are we trying to do here?
yeah,
Or we're just trying to just hang out,
have laughs.
have a couple. Listen, I like a good laugh,
Yeah,
but you can see me laughing in the work.
yeah. No, people just having laughs, crack jokes. But it's like, no, man. Like you should be building each other up. Like
Exactly.
instead of just keeping each other at the same level with cheap jokes. Cheap comedy.
You-
Like,
and
I
you can,
used to love that stuff,
yeah.
but now it's like I like some good jokes now. I like some
Because you put away childish things.
yeah,
When you're a child, you think like a child, you behave like a child. When you become a man, you put away childish things. You put away childish behavior. And some people, they haven't elevated there. They haven't evolved spiritually. So they're stagnated. They're stuck in whatever place they're in. And I was just talking to somebody here at the church about that stagnant water, man. After a while, what? Bacteria begins to form in it.
yeah.
You don't ever want to be stagnant. And that's what I see a problem is with a lot of people is we at a certain point, if you don't know God, you plateau. You plateau. And then you get stuck just on this hamster wheel. You know what I'm saying? And the real thing is this. No, listen, to really find deep strength and to find that purpose and to establish that legacy, bro, you're going to have to give up so much for it. So much of the comfortable thing. But again, it comes back to the priorities because there's a time and place for everything. And I think that's what sacrifice is. It ties in with what we talk about being disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time to work. And that's when you give everything you can give, but it's not all work. And that's what people have to understand. It's not all work. There's a time to work and there's a time to rest from your labor. There's a time for you to plant. There's a time for you to pluck up what you planted. There's a time for you to labor, and there's a time for you to enjoy the fruits of that labor. You know what I'm saying? So once you've labored and you got to that place where you've experienced some fruit, you realize, man, the sacrifice is well worth it.
Yeah, because like we've been saying, is that the journey. Because when you're sacrificing something, there's going to be a great journey along the way. It's going to be
Lessons,
life lessons. And I guess just like what trips me out, though, is like how we talked about Jesus being the living sacrifice and basically the greatest sacrifice, basically that can come and bless everybody. It's like it trips me out how people don't believe that, but yet they'll read a horoscope that someone reads about your astrology sign, about your birthday. It's like, how can you believe that person? You judge you judge the person based off of that fakeness. That you can look at a newspaper, you can look in a magazine. There's going to be so many different horoscopes for that same sign.
You're only saying that because you're a Taurus, bro, or whatever you. I don't know. That's what they say, though. That's what they say.
But
Oh, you're such a Leo. That's such a Leo behavior.
yeah, it's like, but like how like why don't you actually read the Bible and develop that relationship? And you read this,
Because they don't want to sacrifice. Because they're lazy.
yeah, but it's like, why? Like, why do you believe in these astrology signs? Like, that's how you find your. Some people find their spouse and their everything. They base it. Oh, I can't trust him. He's a Cancer.
You know what the Word of God's going to tell you, bro? You know what the Word of God's going to tell you? Read it back to front. It's going to tell you cut the crap.
Yeah. Get out your feelings.
It's specific. God's Word, to say the name Jesus Christ, bro, is specific. You can talk about horoscopes. You can say God. You can do all kinds. It's not specific. Jesus Christ is specific, and it speaks concerning a certain standard.
Yep.
That's why people run from, they don't want to say the name Jesus. That's the controversy that people have. They don't want to say the name Jesus Christ. They're trying to put all kinds of tags on you to call you all kinds of things. But really, eventually, what people want to do, especially when you come from a certain mindset, Christian mindset, conservative mindset, they're really eventually they really want to come after Christ.
Yeah.
But these little things that they're talking about, it's just a means to get there. But they're little by little, and if we just keep letting them, by not speaking and proclaiming the name Jesus Christ, if we don't do that, they're gonna come in and they're gonna just push us back. So where's the resistance? Where's the strength in the Christian church, man? Where's the strength in the man? That's what this podcast is all about, bro.
It's true, man. And people are just afraid to stand on their word and stand on God's word. You know, Jesus is the one that saved us. He died to save us all. So people are afraid to say that because someone's gonna get offended. They don't care if they offend you when they talk about their God that they believe in, or their horoscope, or their Mercury retrograde. they don't care that if they offend you. So why do you care when you're just speaking the truth? You're speaking the name Jesus.
Look at Jesus, bro. Jesus sacrificed everything. He didn't have a wife. He didn't have kids. He didn't have a chauffeur. He didn't have a corner office. Look at the life that he lived, bro. He wasn't walking around with money, with bags of, man, he was just who he was. And he walked in truth of who he was. He sacrificed everything. So there's nothing that you can sacrifice or refuse to sacrifice that Christ doesn't understand. There's nothing you can go through that he hasn't already been through and sacrificed himself. We have to look at ourselves and measure ourselves according to his standard. He didn't know a woman. That's a sacrifice, bro.
Yeah.
A self-made eunuch? He said that. He talked about that himself. That was his sacrifice. Why? Because he had a bride. He already has a bride. So why am I going to go and lay with any of these other? I got a bride. That's the church. That's the bride of the word of truth, is the church. And so we're supposed to walk in that. You talk about you're the truth, but you can't sacrifice. There ain't no truth in you, man. Only thing you're putting out is a half truth. Because I see what you look like on the outside, but I really know what you look like on the inside. Because everything that you're putting out there, whether you realize it or not, you're speaking concerning insecurity that you got, buddy.
It's true, man. And people just gotta own the insecurity and be honest with it. You know, like, and people are so
they're soft. They're soft, bro.
It's like you're ashamed of like who you are but you're working on it. You can't fix anything if you don't say it's true. Like, that's the first, what's the first stage of the whole AA? You have to admit you're an alcoholic. you have to admit something, people will just keep it and go with everything else. And you got to admit your fault, and then you correct it. You work on correcting it. You show actions to show that you corrected it.
Yeah, you got to be honest with yourself. But it's like that. Do you want that type of life? You know, because you're going to have the type of life that you want. That's the reality, because you got a choice.
Yeah.
If you want it bad enough, you'll go do something about it. If not, then you just got to take it as it comes. And guess what? It's right hands, left hooks.
After a while, they start hurting.
They're going to start hurting.
They're going to start hurting.
Even when you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's going to hurt. It's always going to hurt. The journey's going to hurt. Make sure it counts, though.
Yeah, make sure you're still moving forward, though.
Exactly. And when you sacrifice in the will of God, it's going to count. It's going to count when it's over. It's going to count. When it's time to hand out the trophy, the award, the reward, God's handing out his rewards and his trophies. You got one with your name on it.
And then the other dude was like, oh, well, just looking in the back. The guy that just sacrificed.
Yeah, he's trying to get a participation trophy.
Yeah, he's looking for one in the back. Like, where's mine? Where's mine? They didn't call my name?
Let me tell you something. God's not out here handing out participation trophies. You got to be a victor. You got to walk in victory. It's a title. It's a championship. It's a crown. You got to earn it. He's not handing out participation trophies. You don't want to sacrifice. That's what you're going to get, a participation trophy. Glad that you showed up and took this L. The ones with the sacrifices, no, man, we're in celebration mode. You live in celebration mode, and you learn how to work in celebration mode. Because you work, you catch the W, you celebrate with the squad. That's really what it is, in the name of the Lord.
Yeah. Most people just show up and expect to celebrate right away. Haven't even lifted a finger, and they're already in celebration mode. They just show up, celebrate.
Oh, bro, your jersey's not even dirty.
You haven't even gotten drafted. You haven't even gotten
You're riding the
to
pine. So you haven't even got drafted.
You haven't even got chosen. You haven't even picked for a team yet. And you're already celebrating. Celebrating someone else's success.
Part of the chosen frozen.
Yeah, chosen for us.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
No, man, you got to get down and dirty, man, in the work.
You gotta get dusty.
Oh, man, the sacrifice, that's really where it's at, sacrificing of yourself. Because it's not until you begin to sacrifice that you really come into the knowledge of who God is. He meets you in your sacrifice. That's where you meet him. That's where he shows up. Do you really want to know him? Okay, I'll say it this way. Do you really want to know excellence? Do you really want legacy? Do you really want a fulfilling life? You got to sacrifice. That's where Jesus shows. That's who he is. He is excellence. He is truth. He is perfection. It's his word. It's his standard. And see, we say him. Why? Because he was a man of his word. He embodied his word. His word will tell you to sacrifice, and then he'll go and show you what it looks like.
He practiced what he preached, man. And most people just want to preach with no practice.
Oh,
they have no substance. They have nothing. It's just
no practice. We just talked about that. We were talking about that recently, you and me. Yeah. No practice.
No practice. People just want to show up to the game not practicing, and then they wonder why they get blown out, why they catch now.
Exactly. You haven't been practicing. They pass the ball to you.
Terrible.
You shoot it over the backboard.
Like you shoot it like who was it? Carlton Banks, Fresh Prince, when he steals the ball from Will Smith. And he launches it and it goes all the way over. Cost him the championship, man.
Exactly, bro. People doing no-look passes to the bleachers. Bro, you got to practice. You got to put in the work every day. And then when it's game time, you got to show up. And you got to perform under the lights. It takes sacrifice. Sacrificing is what's going to prepare you to be able to handle those lights. You do it so many times.
It just becomes better.
Exactly. And by the time the moment arrives, the moment of truth, because that's what's coming. The moment of truth is coming. When the moment of truth comes and you've put those sacrifices and you've endured, it builds confidence in that moment.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Building confidence. You sacrifice, you become stronger. And that builds more confidence, more faith in you. And that's how you go on to do bigger and better.
Yeah. But people are satisfied with mediocrity, and that's the mediocrity is celebrated nowadays. That's the sad part. The world celebrates mediocrity. There is no more excellence. There really is no more excellence right now in the world. Because everyone's okay with being mediocre. That's true. People are like, I can just show up and do this and get an award. Oh, I can show up and this, get a promotion. Oh, I can just show up and friends. I'll just have to act like this and get friends. There's no one striving to really be great anymore.
And there's no reason to, because everyone's just giving him an excuse. Be nice to him. He's trying.
He's trying, but he's failing.
He's trying. He's not doing anything.
He's just sitting on the couch.
He's just complaining of why he can't do it. He can do it. She can do it. That's the thing. You got people giving you all these excuses. Society's giving you man. Look, that's what I look at. Especially you turn on media.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was watching. You know, I told you I was watching The View.
Oh.
And you know I've been following Whoopi, man, because she's got those Whoopi takes. And that's exactly what they are, Whoopi, bro. She started talking about you're making it too hard for us to have fun. That was a headline I saw. You're making it too hard for us to have fun. Talking about censorship. But it's like, you were the one pushing for censorship.
Yeah, you started.
Well, you were the one so now you're mad because now it's your turn. Because the person that you were coming and trying to censor all these other people on the other side, you thought they were your friend. Now you see what they were. They want to shut you up too. Yeah. And your thing is, you want to leave me alone. We want to have you. You're making it hard for us to have fun. But that's the problem. Everybody just wants to have fun.
Yep. That's an old stupid saying of like, if work was supposed to be fun and be called fun instead of work.
Bro, you know, what I look at is people just want to live in a leisure society. They want to wake up and they want to just go to the beach, or they want to wake up and just go have fun and do all this other stuff. And it's like, there's a lot of ways to do that now. But there's no fulfillment in that. You want to celebrate with no work. You want to hold up, it's like you holding up an NBA championship and you never played. It's like, bro, that's not your trophy. That's a replica, bro. You're not the champ.
It's like those dudes that go buy the Super Bowl rings that someone pawns, one of the players pawns. Because they fell on hard times and they just walk around with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Stolen valor, basically.
That's what, exactly. You haven't put the work in and you're out there celebrating. That's stolen valor right there. You're drinking a beer. You haven't earned that beer, man. That's stolen valor. Someone should knock that beer out of your hand.
I'm just like, come up and tap it. Yeah. Just get some fun out of it. People want to have fun.
Exactly. You earned that beer?
Not earn it. Now put some work and try to chug that thing. At least you could say you earned it then.
Yeah, exactly. No, look, we've been talking about it, and we're getting ready to close it up here. It's all about the journey. The sacrifices suck, they hurt, but they're the blessing, man. If that's where I'm going to meet Christ, then that's what I got to do.
Goes back to that saying, man, adversity introduces a man to himself.
Bro, sacrifice is, I mean, like, I feel like y'all have hit all the points. I don't even feel like I can add to what everything, like, all that you guys just said. Because, like, y'all hit everything on the nail, bro. Like, if you cannot sacrifice the thing you love most, then ultimately you love it too much. And
exactly.
You love it, like, there's only one thing in this world that you should be unwilling to sacrifice, and that's your relationship with Christ. That's it.
That's it, bro.
Everything. If there's anything that you would like, I could never give that up. It could be your wife, like the person you're married to. The Lord would probably not gonna say he would never, but probably never ask you to sacrifice that. But if you love it more than him, like, that's a problem because it's controlling you there.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. If you love things more than God, you replace God, and sometimes God has to remove those things from you. And that could be in a relationship. It could be a job. Whatever it is that you've taken, that's taken the placeholder of God in your life, that's a false idol.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's a false idol. It's a false image.
No, that's facts.
No, listen, bro. That was a great way to end it, bro. That was a perfect way to end it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, Christ is the one, man. Christ, he is the one that you have to love, and that's why we sacrifice. Why? Because he sacrificed for us.
Yep.
We're just trying to match his sacrifice, and we can't.
Never.
But that's the goal. That's the game.
But he doesn't expect us to. He just expects us to reach his standard. At least uphold the standard.
Just be working towards it.
Yeah.
Be working towards it every day. Now, listen, this was a great discussion. Man, look, season 2, next level. We're coming hard. We're not pulling any punches. Matter of fact, we're going even harder than before. So I'm thankful for my brothers here, Jaime and Sam. And until next episode, man, we encourage you to keep on pressing, keep on sacrificing of yourself for that victory, which is in Christ Jesus. God bless you all.